everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. It's great to see such a great crowd here today and so many attendees and new faces. If I haven't met you before, my name is Angela Tenclay, and I am the president this program year of AMA Iowa. So we're really glad that you came out, and we're really excited to hear Nathan share today and share a little bit about Hy-Vee's brand story and their digital engagement. So thank you for coming. First of all, I want to give a huge thank to our board of directors. Really couldn't do it without them. They're the ones that put all this fantastic programming on and just really make things happen for our chapter. I know a lot of them are sitting back there, but if you're on the board, if you'll stand quickly, I'd love to give you a quick round of applause for all you do. And if you have any questions, those people that just stood up are the ones that you'd want to ask about AMA as far as membership or getting involved, volunteering, anything like that. Feel free to ask any of us, or you can ask me after the luncheon as well. Because a lot of you are maybe new and this might be your first event in a long time at AMA Iowa, or it might be your first event ever, I wanted to introduce our theme for this year. Last year our theme, when Josh Fleming was president, was Experience AMA Iowa, and this year it's Engage with AMA Iowa. So we have a lot of members within the state, and then we also have a lot of people that are not members, and we're really looking for you to engage with our chapter, to create new opportunities outside of just coming to a program. We'd love for you to volunteer with us. We'd love for you to meet someone new at an event. We have a networking event coming up on November 13th that provides that perfect opportunity to do so. We'd love for you to go to lunch with someone, go to coffee, just make new connections, because we have so many great marketers in the industry and within our state in Iowa that we really want you to expand your horizons and your opportunities so that you can learn new things, learn things educationally here at AMA Iowa, and then bring it back to your workplace and apply it within your job. So we really encourage you to engage. If you need some idea generation, I'm happy to chat with you about it. I'm pretty excited about the theme for this year, so I hope that you'll do the same and just really engage back with us and get involved. Along with that, we have a lot of new members this month, which is really exciting. So if you're a new member and you're here today, would you raise your hand so we can welcome you? I know we had at least one. She's not raising her hand very high. But thank you for joining AMA. We're very excited to have you. And I did want to mention, too, that our fall acquisition drive is actually going on right now through November 21st. We have quite a few people on the membership committee. Christy Gooding is in charge of our acquisition. She was helping at registration today. And Olivia Rockers, who's in the back over there, is our vice president of membership. So if you have questions about why should I be an AMA Iowa member, what does this mean for me personally and professionally, please seek out any of those people. We'd love to have you join. You get some special benefits for doing it now with a waived registration fee and an opportunity to win some things. So if you're thinking about doing it, now is the perfect time to kind of jump in and join the chapter. We're also really excited to share that we're working on creating a mentorship program. Sadie Hauer is our Director of Membership and Collegiate Relations. She's sitting right there in the middle. And there's a lot of college chapters within the state of Iowa that belong to the Iowa AMA chapter as well. They do a lot on campus, and we really try as a chapter, as professionals, to get involved with them and give them great opportunities as far as networking and jobs and things like that for their future. So Drake is actually going to be hosting an event on the evening of November 18th where they really want members of AMA Iowa. So if you're a member, we invite you to go to that. More details will be shared soon, and we'll share it on our website as well as on social, to get involved and to find a student that you can connect with and develop a mentoring relationship with. Very low pressure. It can be something where you literally meet with them once a month, or maybe you meet with them every 2 months, just to have that engagement with the student. We have so many talented professionals within this room and within our chapter that we really want to use those talents and give back to students, because we were all students once too, and it's great to have someone to learn from. So I really encourage you to get involved because it is such a low commitment. You can see Sadie Hauer to sign up. You can also mention it at registration as well on your way out if you want to sign up, and we would love to see a bunch of you involved with this as well. We have a lot of exciting upcoming events, as I mentioned already. On November 13th, we're having a speed networking event out at Cowboy Jack's, which is new out in West Glen, so if you haven't been there, I've heard it's a great venue. Speed networking events are absolutely fantastic. If you're a member, it's no cost, and if you are a non-member, it's only $5. So it's very cheap in order to come. You're going to meet a lot of great people, get to practice your elevator speech, really just get to connect and network with other people. So we'll have some prize drawing giveaways, we'll have some appetizers provided. So really encourage you to come out, even if you can only come for an hour or 30 minutes. I'd love to meet you. All the rest of our board members would like to meet you, so please join us. And on December 3rd, we're also going to have a monthly luncheon again, so hope you can join us for that as well. We're going to be talking about neuromarketing, which I think is a really exciting topic, and so I'd love to see many of you there as well as we kind of dive into that and speak on that topic with Mike. And it's downtown again, so anybody that has been wanting to have downtown luncheons for quite a few years, we're trying to play to your needs, so please join us for this downtown luncheon at a new venue. As always, especially with Nathan being our speaker today, we encourage you to blow up Twitter, literally. So please tweet with us, please use our handle, use Nathan's, mention him, you can use Hy-Vee's. They're all listed right there, and our hashtag that we generally use is AMA Iowa, so I hope that you'll tweet with us today. And I also want to give a big thank you to our annual Platinum sponsors. We really can't do what we do as a chapter without our sponsors. They're so fantastic, and I'm just so grateful to them. So a couple of them that I wanted to mention are Kelly Moore Consulting, Global Reach, Lessing Flynn, Huffman Creative, On Point Strategies, Skyline Iowa, Nebraska, and Color Effects. So thank you to each one of you for everything that you do for our chapter. And again, also thank you to our annual sponsors as well. They're incredible people, so if you're looking for someone to partner with for any sort of business need, I really encourage you to check out our sponsors. They're fantastic to partner with. They're going to help you find what you need to get done. They're strategic, they're smart, so please look to our sponsors if you have a business need of some sort. And I'm very excited today that our presenting sponsor is Meeks. So Doug Jeske, who's the president of Meeks, is going to come up and share about their agency.
Thank you, Angela. I'm Doug Jeske, president and owner of the Meeks Group, and we are pleased to be sponsoring today's luncheon, and I'm always honored to be warm-up act for Nathan Wright, so look forward to hearing his comments shortly. 2014 has been a big milestone year for the Meeks Group. The agency turned 30 years old, and we celebrated the 20th anniversary of our relationship with Hy-Vee. We also celebrated the 10th anniversary of our relationship with Firestone Ag, and so we are really proud to be evolving and growing with these great clients and other great clients in the food, agriculture, and health categories. One of the other things that we did in 2014 was to introduce a new practice area for the Meeks Group called Mentor Branding. There's some information on your tables about that particular practice area. That practice area emerged from some consumer research we did earlier in the year, and really from a fundamental desire on our part to try to come up with some new ways to differentiate our clients' brands beyond the functional or experience or image benefits that are traditionally used. So we went out and did some consumer research and identified some things that are going on in the culture that create new opportunities for brands. New opportunities for brands to play different roles in the lives of their customers, to be counselors, to be champions, to be motivators. And these things collectively all really fall under the category of mentorship, thus the term mentor branding. And while these this particular initiative is certainly consistent with what's going on in the culture, it's also, we learned from our research, financially valuable. We correlated the mentor rating of certain consumer brands and found a strong correlation between their mentor rating and with financial revenue growth. So some interesting data there. One of the examples of mentor branding of which we're particularly proud is a current customer advocacy program that we're running with Farm Credit Services of America. As part of that program, we're featuring farm credit customers on in advertisements on the back of Hy-Vee cereal boxes. So nice advocacy program that's generating some earned media and some attention in the social space. So again, there's more information about the mentor branding area in the information sheet on your tables. We'd obviously be happy to talk with any of you about that. Now we will look forward to hearing shortly from Nathan Wright. I'm not sure that Hy-Vee Chinese is the best example of mentor branding, but I suspect there's always a little bit of wisdom and inspiration in a fortune cookie. So thank you.
I also want to give you a thank you today to Straighten North, which is a digital agency that is our contributing sponsor for the month of November. And I also want to give a thank you as well to our supporting sponsor, which is Blank Children's Hospital Unity Point Health. And they're a sponsor of today's luncheon, and we are going to be promoting their upcoming Festival of Trees and Lights from November 26th through 30. So we're actually going to give away 2 tickets to one lucky winner for the Festival of Trees and Lights. So we're going to draw your name now, and if you're the winner, feel free to come up and grab them. And then we're also going to give away 2 tickets to their new festival, After Dark, which is geared towards the adult crowd and sounds like a really fun event. So let's see who our winners are. And don't get upset if I don't pick your name. Oh, Sandra Stone. So you're our first winner. Then we'll draw one more here. Kimberly Bilstad. And I also wanted to mention too, we do have a sponsor for our name tags, and if you check out the back of your name tag, there's a special offer on there. We're really grateful to Action Print for sponsoring these, so if that interests you, please don't forget to take out the insert, but please leave the plastic at the front because we are a nonprofit and we would love to invest your dollars back into programming versus into new name tags, which are very expensive. So please don't forget about that and give some love to another one of our sponsors if you have any printing needs. And now I want to welcome Mark True, who is our AVP of Programs, up to introduce Nathan Wright, our speaker today.
Nathan began his career in the advertising agency world when he developed a digital media strategy for clients of all shapes and all sizes. His interest in social media, social networks, led him to entrepreneurship and the formation of Lava Row, a consulting firm dedicated to helping large corporations navigate the ever-shifting digital media space with an emphasis on training, best practices, and business value. He currently leads a variety of digital initiatives at Hy-Vee, a supermarket retailer with over 235 stores and $8 billion in sales. He's a frequent presenter at industry conferences such as South by Southwest Interactive, and in front of professional organizations and universities like ours. He has taught internet marketing as an adjunct professor at Drake University, is an active Des Moines technology startup and entrepreneur community, and he currently serves on advisory boards for the University of Northern Iowa Interactive Digital Studies Program and the Iowa State University's Greenlee School of Journalism and Communications. He graduated from Iowa State and the College of Design with a bachelor's degree in fine arts, and he tells us he once attempted to sell his soul on eBay, earning his 15 minutes of worldwide fame and mockery. He aspires to one day be distinguished enough to wear a monocle. That's what he tells me. Let's welcome Nathan.
Thank you. How are you? Can you hear me okay? How's lunch? Not as delicious as Hy-Vee Chinese. I understand. We talked about bringing some in. So that's what we're going to talk about today is Chinese food. And I can see 100+ people who are really excited about Chinese food. But more importantly, the brand story behind it and why this story connects so well with our younger shoppers. And it is a truly unique story. A little bit about myself. I oversee a variety of digital projects and initiatives at Hy-Vee. Basically, if there's something going on in Hy-Vee world that has marketing behind it, digital supporting it. So I'm working on quite a bit of things there. It's one of the things I really love about working at the Hy-Vee corporate office is this diverse array of things to work on, whether it's veterans issues or Chinese food or new bagels or our new restaurants or you name it. There's just a variety of things. So I'm on the internet at Nathan C. Wright on the Twitter machine if you want to say hello. Give me a follow. I always love new internet friends. So just a state of the union where Hy-Vee's at today, new things going on with us. 237 stores across the Midwest and growing. 70,000 employees, the largest employer in the state of Iowa. Health and wellness and culinary expertise are two giant initiatives at the company. So you see that at store level. We have 213 licensed dietitians in stores as well as 177 chefs. Some stores have 6, 7 chefs now. So they are present in our stores. And restaurants, too. We have restaurants now. Has anyone been to a Market Grill in this room? A few of you? Okay. For those that haven't, I invite you to stop at one. I know it sounds insane on paper. Why does a grocery store have a restaurant, a sit-down restaurant inside? But we do. That's a big initiative we have going on. There's 3 here locally, Urbandale, Waukee, and Ankeny. One of the Ankeny stores has Market Grills. The food's great. They actually have great beer on tap, too. The one in Waukee has Tank 7, if there's any Tank 7 fans in the room. I saw it there and was really excited. We also have 158 Chinese departments in our stores, which we're going to talk about today. Probably the biggest news in Hy-Vee world right now, though, was announced last spring, and that's that we're going to Minneapolis. We're going to take the town over. It's such a ripe opportunity up there, we think, and we're really excited about this. So we're heading north. First store, I think, should be, the groundbreaking is happening very soon and should be up and running in 2015. So we're coming to New Hope, Minnesota first, Oakdale, and Lakeville. I'm personally really excited about that. Minneapolis has always been like a second home to me, so I just can't wait to have stores up there. So that's what's going on in Hy-Vee world. But I want to focus again on the Chinese departments today and this truly unique story. So our younger shoppers are obsessed, literally obsessed with the Chinese food. And I found this out my first week working at Hy-Vee when I started about a year ago. And they are not shy about their love for Hy-Vee Chinese. My first week there, it was kind of that awkward first week in your new job, where you don't really have a lot to do yet, so you're doing a lot of research. So I spent a lot of my time on Twitter looking at brand mentions of Hy-Vee. And seriously, like 75%, 80% of those brand mentions had something to do with Chinese. People craving it or asking their friends to meet up with them at the Chinese department in Hy-Vee. And I really never knew what a big deal it was until I started to see this day in and day out. Every day, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., the cravings start. The tweets start flying about Hy-Vee Chinese. And I thought, this is completely insane, right? Is this just like 1 week? Is this an ongoing thing? So I just kept collecting data. And I want to share with you some of the excitement that we see day to day about Hy-Vee Chinese. So these are the types of tweets that just start flying at 10 a.m., sometimes even earlier. I have a Hy-Vee Chinese and a Hi Chai feed set up in one of my Hootsuite columns that I'm watching every day, and they start coming in and they build and build. So to say that our younger shoppers are excited about it is really an understatement. The way in which they tweet about it, in which they talk about it, is completely crazy. It's almost like it's a drug or some sort of addiction. They just cannot wait to get their next fix of it. People are sometimes there 2 or 3 times per week, and again, they're not ashamed or shy about sharing these details. And I also noticed, so I'm looking for trends, right? So I'm seeing a lot of this, but who are these people? Primarily younger, high school kids and college kids, tweeting about Hy-Vee Chinese relentlessly. So that was the first trend I noticed, was youth. This is definitely a youth thing. Cravings, again, multiple visits, 8:30 in the a.m., people are thinking about it. People are aggressive about their excitement, all caps. This is another trend I saw was people just tweeting about how much they're craving it and they want to round up their friends and go out there in the evening or for lunch. So you can see the loving terms in which they refer to this. So this is where triggers started to go off in my head that we'd better do something with this. And I'll get to that in a second here. And if there's some sort of like teenage slang like clutch or that young people are using these days, it's usually in conjunction with Hy-Vee Chinese. One of my favorites. So the other trend I started to see, in all these mentions of Hy-Vee Chinese, I started to see a nickname emerge. I saw this word Haichai used over and over again. And then I saw that it was being used as a hashtag on Instagram and Twitter primarily. That's a true statement. It's absolutely true. Another trend I saw is that they love sharing pictures of their fortunes when they crack open their fortune cookie. Even these like kind of standard fortunes, right, that you see in any Chinese restaurant, they just love it and they love to tweet about it and put it on Instagram. So I'll circle back to this here in a few minutes in another project we did around fortunes. Also a true statement. That's in the Bible. That's really a thing. It's in the New Testament. I saw it in conjunction with television watching too. A lot of people were taking it to go, taking it back to their dorm room or after school, watching Netflix. So I kept seeing it. It's really ingrained in this teenage college lifestyle. I just really had no idea when I started that this was such a big deal. So you get the idea. Here's a bunch of tweets. And this is where Haichai comes from. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Hy-Vee Chinese, just take the first two parts of those words, Haichai. And what's great about this is that customers created that on their own. We did not have anything to do with that. So this is like a marketer's dream, right? We did no work. And here's this cult following, which is amazing, and they've branded it for us. So all we can do is just embrace this. There are some other nicknames out there that aren't as popular as Haichai. One is Hainese. Seriously. And Viennese is another one too. So I see those pop up every once in a while, but they don't have the traction that Haichai does. So it was around this time when I collected enough data that I went to our VP of marketing and I told her, this is happening. We should probably do something with this. We should embrace this. We should at the very least acknowledge this audience and say, hey, we hear you, we fully support this, and let's start integrating Haichai as a brand into some other things that we're doing. So I did a little bit of digging. It's actually been around for quite some time. The first recorded instance I could find of it was way back in 2010, about 4 years ago. So I took this screenshot. That was the very first mention online of Haichai. And the nickname probably was around long before that, just not recorded on the internet anywhere. So again, this had some legs behind it. And so we started to develop marketing plans around Haichai, marketing initiatives, and just looping that name into it as well as that hashtag. And I have to say, the Chinese departments aren't hurting. So this wasn't, what can we do to boost sales because we really need sales? Chinese is one of the top performing things at stores. But this was just a matter of this really unique thing is happening with our customers, and we'd better support it. Especially as marketers, we're always struggling with how do we connect to a younger audience as their media world has completely fractured. How do we play in those spaces? And for us, this was our hook moving forward. So these were our goals when we set out to do something in this space. And number one is engaging our younger shoppers via digital platforms. And most of all, give them a sense of ownership and participation in the brand, which they really like. Boost word of mouth advocacy, that chatter that's already going on day to day around Hy-Vee Chinese. Let's just keep that going. Let's support it more and more. And let's support that with surprise and delight moments, things that they won't see coming. And of course, why we're all in the room today, as marketers, we're trying to drive sales, right? So that's also a goal here. Our target audience were the young and hungry. And I love this phrase. A handful of us went out to Frito-Lay headquarters last spring, and they were talking about their different audience segments, and one of them was the young and hungry crowd. And these are people between 16 and 24. Metabolism hasn't really kicked in yet. They love bold flavors. They love spicy food. They want to try a lot of different, diverse tastes. And that's really who we're going after here. And the platforms that we chose on digital were Twitter, Instagram, Vine, and Facebook. And I know you're hearing a lot right now that the teens have left Facebook. College kids have left it, right? And that's somewhat true, but we still felt it was important to what we were doing here. So we started with just a simple photo contest. These are easy to set up, social media photo contest. You know, just share your photo for a chance to win weekly prizes. And this was a no-brainer because this is habit. This is behavior that's already happening with this audience, right? They're already posting these things to Instagram and Twitter. So let's just give them a little nudge with prizes. So every week we'd give away Fandango gift cards, Hy-Vee gift cards, as well as Hi Chai shirts and hats. So every week we had about 3 winners. And this had about 600 entries when all was said and done. So just want to share a couple of them with you. So these are just people in the store or at home. All they had to do is share their Hy-Vee Chinese moment. Again, mostly youth represented here, college, high school kids. Some of our employees were actually wearing the hats and shirts, which was awesome. So here's a group of people posing with one of them. And here's a kid that won one of the shirts, actually, throwing up gang signs, so had to throw that in here. She's excited. Some of the shirts and hats that we had out there that we were giving away. I still have a bunch left, by the way. I wanted to bring them and give them out, but just send me an email. We'll get one to you if you really want one. So these are tweets, promoted tweets that we'd put out there. So this is how we marketed the photo contest outside of stores. These are promoted tweet is basically you just put a Twitter post out there and then you back it with an ad budget and it keeps recurring for a targeted audience in their Twitter news feeds. So that was one angle we took. We knew we had to have some sort of support in store as well. So these are clings, little triangle clings on tables, as well as the glass guard in front of the Hy-Vee Chinese area. Stores really got behind this. It was great to see the energy behind these. Hy-Vee models is pretty unique. Some of you know it, is that stores, they get to make their own decisions in terms of what marketing they do and what they bring in store. So we make these things available to them and they can kind of pick and choose what they want, but they really fully supported this. Stickers on the carry-out boxes and trays as well. We had fortune cookie-shaped things that were stuffed into bags, just encouraging people to share their moment on Instagram and Twitter, as well as buttons. So you'll still see these in stores, Hi Chai buttons. So we're trying to bridge the physical world and digital here. Here's some excited people that won stuff. So that was a photo contest, very easy, not super high concept there, but again, just nudging them along and saying, awesome, we like what you're doing, keep sharing, keep it up. So we're going to talk about fortune cookies now. I saw this as an opportunity to really surprise and delight people, where they're always sharing these photos, they're pulling out their message, and they're tweeting about it, putting it on Instagram. So the idea here was, what if we sneak in some funny messages that they're not going to expect? So this is where we engaged the Meeks group, and I believe Chris is here. Yes, right there. Yep. So one day we had a writing session, and Chris and Chad Baker and I sat down and wrote a bunch of fortunes. They did most of the writing, as well as some other folks at the group. And we had 30 customized fortunes that we ended up with that we put inside fortune cookies. By we, I mean the company that makes the fortune cookies. And then they shipped them, and then we shipped them to all stores with Chinese departments. And they blended that into their existing mix. So people started to receive these custom fortunes in their cookies. Here's just a few of them. Things like, help, I'm a prisoner in a fortune cookie bakery. One who shares their life but not their Hi Chai truly shares nothing at all. Instagram this fortune so we know it's real. To love thyself is to know thyself. To like thy own selfie is just tacky. So that's 4 of the 30 that are out there. And of course, the little HiChai brand on there. And if you flip them over, it's the standard Learn Chinese, lucky lottery numbers on the back as well. So the whole goal here was, again, just to surprise people. Give them this moment that's completely unexpected as they're eating their meal. So here's just a few shares from them. This person wrote, "The fortunes of our generation." Oh, that's unfortunate. Someone's trapped in a bake. Have you read anything more true? And I have to say these fortunes were extremely polarizing. People loved these, or they absolutely hated them. There was no middle ground. I've never seen anything like this where they just think it's the best thing they've ever seen, or they felt cheated. Some people wrote in to customer care, like, I've been cheated out of a fortune. You know, I guess they're planning their whole lives by these fortunes, and they felt like who are you to come in and just make a joke, right? But there were more positive than negative, but it was completely polarizing. It was really shocking to me. This was one of the more controversial ones. Insert ancient wisdom here. So these, either you get the joke and you love it, or you just don't get it at all. I thought I wanted to share this one. Whoever made this should get an automatic pay raise. So, Chris, Doug, you want to set that up? Talk to Chad about that too. So those have been expired, and they're out and they're gone now, and I haven't heard if we're going to bring them back or not. But again, that was just a fun, unexpected moment to touch our audience. So Instagram is a new platform we're on. We started this summer. We're experimenting in that space, and we're always trying to figure out how do we fit in there, what kind of content do we put there that really makes sense, that fits within that world. Instagram really is not a medium to shove a marketing or a sales message into, so we have to be careful about that. So for shots like this, all we're trying to do is recreate some of the other stuff we see out on Instagram around Hy-Vee Chinese. And I saw a lot of shots like this of the meal in someone's lap watching TV. So we just recreated that, and that was the creative direction behind what we're doing in that space. We just want to blend in and camouflage ourselves a little bit, make sure our brand message is there, but not be too over the top in that space. So this has evolved now. We started at the photo contest, fortunes, things like that, some Instagram content. We watched it roll, and then one day I had a meeting with Donna, our VP of marketing, and I sat down and she said, Randy, our CEO, he loves HiChai, and he wants to have a guy. We got to have a HiChai guy, was the phrase that came out of this. And it's awesome to have your CEO that engaged, that excited about something. And his idea was, let's do weekly deals, and let's have a spokesperson deliver these, somehow introduce them on these platforms. So that was kind of the kernel of the idea. Then it was our task to go execute that idea. So starting in September, we've been doing secret unannounced deals every Tuesday. And you never know what the deal is going to be. Sometimes it's a 2-entree meal with a free fountain drink, things like that. And they go live around like 9:30 a.m., 10 a.m., but it's different each week. And they're delivered on Vine, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So this is Adam, our HiChai guy. We found him through, I'll show you some videos here. We found him through, we actually went through our kind of traditional like casting call method and just got a bunch of duds, just people that were trying too hard to be funny. And we were working with Screenscape on this, and they said, there's actually this kid that used to work here. He was an intern, and he's in Chicago now, and he does like improv classes at Second City. He's studying there. He's really funny. He's effortless, take a look at him. So he actually, this guy came to us through non-traditional means. He wasn't really a casting call tape that we got. And he submitted his own videos to us, and we started watching them, and he was great. He just recorded them in his apartment, and he actually lived in Iowa City and was also obsessed with Hy-Vee Chinese. So he knew the brand and the product well, and he ended up being the face of HiChai here. So here's kind of how we play this out each week. There is a strategy to it, especially Tuesday mornings. We try to tease it every Tuesday morning with getting people to expect it and get excited about it. So we'd always just remind them the secret deal is going to drop in about 30 minutes. These are always easy. If you tell your audience to favor RT, they'll just do it. They won't even think about it. It's just easy ways to get engagement. Throw some emoji in there. So this is what a tweet looks like when we put content on Vine. I'm going to talk about Vine here a little bit. I assume most of you know what it is. For those that don't, it's a very short form video network, video social network, where people create 6-second videos. And these are looping videos, so they just keep going and looping and looping. And they're very hilarious. It's extremely popular with youth culture. So we knew Vine was a place we had to be for this. Twitter owns Vine. It's the same company. And we saw a lot of marketers doing really creative things in that space. So this is what it looks like when the deal comes out. We have a code attached to it because we have to track this. There's no point in doing any of this if you can't track sales. So when you see this come out, the process would be you would take your phone into the Chinese department, show it. Here's my LU code. They ring you up and you get the deal. And then we can track all of that. So can I share some videos with you? Is that cool? Okay, I'm going to start with some of the Vine videos. So here's Adam. This was his introduction post. Remember, these are 6 seconds, and then they just keep looping.
I'm the HiChai guy, and I'm here to bring you some super sweet deals. Get ready to see a whole lot more of me. I'm the HiChai guy, and I'm here to bring you some super sweet deals. Get ready to see a whole lot more of me.
So that sort of like little ding, that magic trick stuff, those types of little quirky things are really popular on Vine. So again, we're trying to play with the medium as it exists today, not force ourselves into it, but use the creativity that's already at play. So we see a lot of sleight of hand, magic tricks, little things like that. I actually was there on that shoot, and I placed the pint into his hand, so they cut me out. And he filmed these. We filmed these. We spent a day at the Waukee Hy-Vee filming these, and people were, especially over the lunch hour, kind of like, what is this guy doing? Because he was shouting things at the camera, and they thought he was an insane person. So here's a few more. Right, so you see how that loops, and if you're going to create content for Vine, you have to break yourself out, especially if you're from the traditional broadcast world, and you're used to creating content for television or more long form, like 30-second stuff. You've got to break out of the mindset of an open and a close, because the loop, it just keeps going and going. So you have to have this. You have to have a content that works in 6 seconds, but also in succession over and over again. So that last one I showed, we worked really hard in terms of the edit to make that fun as it kept looping.
Have you heard about the dinner for 4 deal? If a family of 3 would adopt me right now, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. No, don't walk away. Have you heard about the dinner for 4 deal? If a family of 3 would adopt me right now, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. No, don't walk away.
So also what we're trying to do here is deliver a deal which people want, but we're taking a media first approach, whether it's visual or video, and really trying to make that deal more exciting or funny or more approachable.
This can't be real. You're eating for free. So this can't be real. You're eating for free.
That's the buddy plan, right? You buy one and your buddy gets one for free. That was a very overly dramatic Michael Bay type of rotoscope shot there that we tried to mimic. Stop motion animation is we see a lot of that on Vine too. So some of these we actually just try to recreate that. So Hi Chai Guy isn't in this one, but. So again, that's just 6 seconds, and it keeps looping. And that one is seizure-inducing if you watch it too much. So the other thing we did with Adam were these Facebook confessionals. We call them confessionals, where now we're broken out of the 6-second restraint, and he can go long form, and he can ad-lib, and kind of do what he wants with a very loose script. So we sent him the details of the deals, and we said, hey, just like those audition tapes you sent us, just roll with this info, make it up as you go, just ad-lib it in your apartment from your laptop webcam. And he sent us back a ton of content, which we then edited together. So these also break on Tuesday, and we put these on Facebook with Facebook's video feature.
This is the Hi Chai Guy here. I'm here to tell you about a sweet new deal today. Right now, today only, if you go to Hy-Vee Chinese, you can get regular pints for $5. Whoa. You know how big a pint is? I do. There's one right here. There's a lot of food in here. This is the best deal since the New Deal from Franklin Roosevelt. I had to think about that for a second to make sure that was the right president that did that. But yeah, do you guys like Abraham Lincoln? Do you have his trading cards in your wallet? I know I do. Slam! And a pint, please. Sometimes I'll go with an Andrew Jackson and I'll get 2 of them. Slam! I like to make it rain at the Hy-Vee Chinese station. Count those up and tell me how many pints you owe me. Thanks for listening, everybody.
So on Instagram, we announce these every day, every Tuesday as well. And we're just trying to play around with the visuals in a fun way that shows you what you're going to get out of the deal. Sometimes not even showing the food, but again, just simple, fun, creative visual illustrations of what's going on, where we don't have to use a heavy amount of text. So how do you measure all of this stuff, and what does success look like? Well, I showed you what our goals were, which were lifting sales, and also just mentions of this hashtag, creating awareness of it, and creating more use of it. So this is, I apologize, this is a little fuzzy, but I'll explain what's happening here. These are Hi Chai mentions over time, specific to Twitter. And you can see where they started way back in 2010, and they just kind of bumped along a little bit. Then in October, about a year ago, is when we really started using our customer care, started responding to people and using the hashtag and interacting with them. And that was the first time people started to see Hy-Vee use the hashtag. So you see a little lift there, and then a big one in the summer. And then recently, this massive spike is with the Tuesday deals, the secret deals that come out. And people getting excited about those and retweeting them and telling their friends about them. Sales figures, there has been a lift there. I can't share the specifics with you. They won't let me do that. I'll be beaten if I share those things. But we have seen an improvement in that space, a surprisingly good one. So then while we're talking about what success looks like, one of my goals is getting this 95-year-old grandma to start using the hashtag someday. So this is one of my favorite Hi Chai tweets I've seen out there. So that's a ton of info. I know I threw a lot of that at you fast, but we're just getting started with this brand. Those are 3 fun things that we've started to do, and we're going to keep growing it. And again, as we're looking at that younger shopper and how different they are, how they behave in different ways, I really think this is going to be a model for us moving forward and how we go to market with some other things. So thank you for your time, and I'll open it up to questions now. Anything you're curious about the Chinese campaign? Other parts of Hy-Vee I might be able to answer, might not, but I'm happy to field any questions. Yes?
Okay, crazy question.
Yeah.
I moved here from Chicago a couple of months ago.
Okay.
And before I got here, we went to the best restaurant in Des Moines when we find out where to eat. And I have to giggle because it said best Chinese in Des Moines, Hy-Vee.
Good.
Does that have any reflection on what you guys are doing, or is that, it's more than just your target audience who's
I doubt that's a result of anything we did. I know this cult following has been around, I mean, going back to 2010 and before that, we've seen evidence of that. Was it? Were you on Yelp?
Google.
Google? Okay. Yeah. It's just the truth. It's the best in town. And there's, I would say it's kind of a non-answer, but I just think there's enough positivity around it and enough chatter that it would influence that. But when you move here from Chicago, that seems crazy, right? Like in a grocery store, the best Chinese food. Yeah, if you're not from the Midwest and you don't know Hy-Vee, nobody gets that. So when people move here, it is a shock to them. Like, how can a grocery store have the best Chinese food in town? And it's true. Thank you. Other questions? Yes.
So I think a lot of us, when we're monitoring online, can get pretty specific with our organization. But if you've been just monitoring for Hy-Vee, you would never found Hy-Vee.
Right.
So how do you recommend, like, how do you go about finding out? How do you recommend people with
Yeah, so Emily's question is, Hai Chai it doesn't even mention Hy-Vee, so how do you find this in your feeds? Or you might, your point is you could have a whole world of people talking about you that you don't even notice because you miss it. You're only searching for your own brand name. So I found it by luck. Just there were enough tweets where the two words were together, and then I found this whole massive other world that I uncovered and thought was awesome. But I don't know if there's a real trick to do that, but there are tools now where you can search tweets based on a geofence. So let's say you are a retail environment or the Science Center, and you could say, I want to see all tweets that come from this location, this street corner, which is approximately near where you are, right? And maybe they don't even have to do with you, but they might have some context close to it where they don't specifically mention you. I actually have one of those set up from where I live, my house. I want to see whoever tweets at the street corner that I live on. It'll probably just be me, but I'm just curious about that. So that's something you could use. The recipe for that is on If This Then That, and it's this website called IFTTT. And you can build these recipes. So if this happens, then this triggers, and then you get this. So in that case, if anyone tweets from these geo coordinates, send me a weekly digest of the tweets. So that's one way to do it. But my best answer is just research. Just know your brand well and the other words that are associated with it, and keep digging. Yes?
Have you learned anything about the life cycle of hashtags? You know, how they start? Do you expect that hashtag will die out or evolve into something different? Or are you just kind of learning as you go?
Learning as we go. So the question is, what's the life cycle of a hashtag? They're all different. I would say that the ones that are built by marketers tend to be the ones that die out quicker, right? Because they don't have any history before that. So I think Hai Chai is safe because we have 4 years of people mentioning it, and then mentions before that probably in the non-digital world. But ones that are created specifically by marketers typically are run victim to closing down pretty quickly. Unfortunately, which is how we lucked out and why we were so excited to find one that had been created by others and we didn't really have to do anything. Then you have others like what was the Target one this week? Is that Eric from Target? Did I have the first name right? Alex from Target, thank you. So Alex from Target was this internet meme, sort of hashtag that blew up this week. And it turned out to be a marketing stunt at the end, but a very well made one, which was basically someone just took a picture of a checker at a Target. His name was Alex, and then for some reason it just exploded into this giant trend. But that's an example of one that's going to come and go, and it's going to have everyone's attention for about 48 hours. It's done. What else? Yeah.
Did you use an agency in connection with this, or is this all?
Which part? So fortune cookies, we worked with Meeks on that to write them, brainstorm those. There's a variety here. A video production company for the Vine videos. And the design for a lot of it is our internal resources. Yes?
Do you see this message correlating with having a smile in your aisle?
Oh yes, the smile in every aisle, our slogan. So are you asking, do they relate to each other?
Why you have it correlated to something in the future?
Yeah, so the helpful smile in every aisle is a part of the brand. It doesn't necessarily drive every specific initiative we do, but it definitely is a core part of it. Anything else over here? Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about how Hy-Vee get organized and how you work together and
Yes, things move very fast in our department. Quickly is an understatement. We're about, I think it's growing a lot right now. So I think we're like 25 people deep, marketing, communications. So let's unpack that a little bit. We have marketing people, planners, strategic thinkers, designers, copywriters. We need another copywriter really soon, by the way, so come talk to me if you're unhappy in your job. You got to know how to tweet, and you got to know how to write for the web. We're going to look for that soon. But in my group, so I oversee kind of the vision and strategy for a lot of digital stuff. I have a project coordinator that helps babysit me, and then a designer that's totally devoted to all the design work in the digital world that we're not being supported elsewhere. So does that answer your question? We have a communications department, PR group, customer support is also under communications, and that's 5 or 6 people that answer tweets, Facebook messages, phone calls. People still use phones, apparently. Emails come in. They do that all day long. And that's almost to a 24/7 type of department. There are 5 or 6 bodies dedicated to supporting customers in the digital world. Yeah, so I'll walk through how this came about. So I went to talk to Donna, our VP of marketing, and I showed her what was happening. And she said, I get it. We should do something with this. In that same meeting, we had a couple of other executives that oversee our prepared food. We had to get their buy-in. So I just verbally told them, here's what I want to do, some kind of simple things. Let's get started. And they blessed it, and I put a budget together. I said, okay, and it was off and moving. So then we had to identify who are our external partners that we need to get it done. And then for the most part, like most of the design work, again, was internal. Yep. What else? Any other random questions about Hy-Vee I can attempt to answer? Yes?
What's your favorite social media tracking software program that you found that you use in your life?
To track
Facebook?
mentions?
I mean, pretty much any online campaign you have one that you use on that platform.
Yeah, she's asking about tracking tools on social media. I really don't. I use a hybrid of a lot of things. Most of the stuff I find is through Hootsuite. Saved searches in there. But we use a variety of other just Google alerts and things like that come to us in different ways. And customer care has their own software platform that looks for mentions on different platforms, and they respond inside the platform itself. Yes? Yeah, so you all know that what happened with the Royals. They were in the playoffs suddenly, and that's a huge deal. It's a huge deal for Hy-Vee. That's our longest running sports sponsorship. I think 15 years, I think. Is that around there? Yeah. So obviously people are excited. The Royals are back for the first time since '85. And it was a big deal for us because Hy-Vee stuck with them through some really dark, very dark years. If there are any Royals fans in the room, you know what I'm talking about. So we tried some in-the-moment messaging. Every time a win or a loss would happen, we would put some sort of content out there that's sort of like a celebratory message or a message of pride in the case of a loss. So here's what we did. We created all these tweets, each with an image, and had them all queued up, ready to go. And then I stayed up and watched the game, or listened to it, or followed online. And in that moment, when they would win or lose, I would push out that message. So we had them all scripted out ahead of time. If they lose, then this. If they win, then tweet this. So we did those, and those worked really well. That in the moment, capturing excitement. People are so excited about it. And we had all of this creative built for the losses, and for the first 8 games, we just didn't have to use any of it. So I was hoping they would sweep the World Series, and I could make this post about here's all the creative about losing that we never had to use. But unfortunately, we did have to start using some of those in the World Series. But those performed really well. Some of our highest engaged stuff And it's great to be part of that because Hy-Vee is such a part of the Royals family, and to be part of that excitement was really fun. And a lot of the things that we wrote for Twitter ended up becoming outdoor boards. So Hy-Vee took over a lot of the Kansas City outdoor, and we're using some of the messages from our tweets that became outdoor boards. So it was fun to see that digital world inform or affect some more traditional forms of media too. Anything else? It's one of our biggest. Would you say it's the biggest one, Doug? Yeah. Yeah, it's the largest. Except for Minneapolis, which is coming soon. If all goes well, yes? How do you keep 70,000 employees engaged with what we're doing? This is a big challenge for us, specifically because of the Hy-Vee autonomy model, right, where stores get to do their own marketing. That becomes very challenging. So it all comes down to communication and over-communicating and being relentless about it. So like with these Hi Chai deals, we have to blitz them with communications in a lot of different ways. Emails from department managers, get ready, it's Tuesday. Do you have this plugged into your system? People are going to come in showing this phone. And that's something we're still learning and getting better at, absolutely. But yeah, with a base that broad, you must communicate, absolutely. So we try to do it as much and as often as possible. Other questions? All right, thanks for your time. I'll be around for a couple of minutes if you want to come say hi. Thank you, appreciate it.